Voices Online and the World Policy Institute, and he's in our studio tonight. Robert, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let me just ask you this: why is this region in particular such a hotbed for violence?
Well, we're talking the region of Tierra Caliente or Hotland. This is an area where there's a lot of crops in marijuana and poppy crops, not to mention that this is a passageway for many of the drugs that come from South America and Central America. This is a very hot spot, and this is where you find a conundrum of instability, and where you find crooked police, where you have beleaguered governors and people who are supposedly keeping control and order in this region. So that's why you have such problem here right now that we see in Mexico.
How does this compare to other regions? I mean, is corruption worse there?
Well, so far it's probably worse than that we see in Sinaloa or the northern part of Mexico right now.
And for life there is different because the government is corrupt and and police are corrupt and what the criminals run the place.
Exactly. I mean, what we see, for example, this is a clear example of how both the police and the drug cartels operate. So far, the investigations look this way. The police went after the bus, then they arrested them, and then they hand them over to the drug cartels to be later killed and incinerated. That's so far what the report reads. That's how the investigations has been carried away.
We don't know for sure, but if it's a horrific massacre of teenagers, have you seen anything like this in Mexico before?
Well, we've seen beheadings in the port of Acapulco, which is supposed to be a tourist spot, and we've seen other atrocities in the border, in Ensenada and some other areas of Sinaloa and Chihuahua. I think this is not unique. This is not a unique case. Not to mention what we've seen in June, where there was a crossfire between the military and drug cartels in the state of Mexico, and we've seen these cases where people have been killed for no reason.
Robert, how do the drug cartels and the gangs use civilians like the students or tourists? Do they actually use these people for the war that they're conducting against police and those that want to stop drugs?
What they're trying to do is to instill fear and to show we are not the people you want to mess with. That's basically what they're doing. They're using fear and intimidation, not just within the population, but it's a way to tell we want to run this place. As we know, drug cartels are territorial, and this is a very important area for these cartels to control the business. It's basically all about the business.
Why is it so important for these to control these areas?
Because it's money. It's just the money. It's just the trade. It's just the business. The merchant.
That's where it is.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, they don't have any political motivations, even though they influence people like the mayor of Iguala, where we found this massacre.
It's a tragic story. Robert Valencia, it's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
New York City.